Hi, hello everyone. Welcome again to a new video. So as part of today's video, I'm going to show how we can use Jira for our quarterly planning, and we will use epics as work item type for our quarterly planning. And it all depends upon team to team, project to project. The teams who are following the SAFe or Scale Agile framework, they might be using features as part of their PI planning or the quarterly planning. Like we have the epics at the top, we have features under epic, and we have the user stories as part of features. But we will keep it simple. We will use the standard hierarchy for our Jira project. We will have the epics at the top as a container for the user stories and other work item types. So that will be the agenda for this particular video, how to perform a quarterly planning using epics in Jira. So let us begin. So I'm sharing the cloud instance which I have created on Jira Cloud, and these are some of the already existing project. So what I will do, I will create a new project, and we can select a template from here. If I select software development, so we can select the Scrum, we can say use template. Let us keep it as select company managed, and let's give it a try. We can call it Scrum team October 25, and we click on next. So it is asking who all we want to invite. So let's say we want to invite this person. We also want to invite this person, and we say invite and continue. Okay. So this particular project is from team October 25 that has been created, and we can see that this is our top navigation. The new Jira navigation, we have the summary, we have timeline, backlog, active sprints, and other things. So currently, if you look at the backlog, we can expand this one left navigation. So we can see the backlog is empty. We do not have any items. So what we can do is we can start by creating an epic. So let's say we have the very first epic, which we can call it as user management, and we simply say create. And let's try to create one more epic, which I have used in so many other places as well. Let's call it as online payments. Let's try to create one more epic, and we can call it as architectural pathways. Okay, so we created these three epics. We can have one more epic. Let's say this is our shopping cart. So we are simply creating it. So these four epics have been created here, and we are not seeing them in our backlog. And because we can always look at the epics from the epic panel, just have to enable it. So these are the four epics. So this is one way to view the epics. Other view that we can utilize is we go to the all work. So it will list all the work that we have. So it is listing these four epics. Now, what we are going to do, since this particular video is all about how we are planning for a quarter. So this team might be working in a sprint, but it's always better to kind of like think ahead, have a vision, have a roadmap in terms of our quarterly planning. So let's say for this particular team, they are using the epics for their quarterly planning. So since this particular October, November, December 2025 period, we can consider it as quarter four. And the next year from January to March, we can consider it as the quarter one. So what this team is doing for the quarterly planning is they are utilizing the labels. And what we can do is we have the labels here. We can just drag it and bring it here. Okay, we can maybe bring it a further close. So let's say the very first one, the user management is one epic which the team wants to perform or wants to develop or complete in the Q4. So they can say this is our part of like quarter four 2025, and we just have to enter. So this label has been created, and it says that this epic is planned for Q4. Similarly, let's say architectural pathways, this is also planned for Q4. And just for an example, shopping cart, we can say this is planned for, we can say Q1 2026. So the label is already there. So we are simply creating it. And similarly, online payments as well, it is part of Q1 2026. Okay. So this is how we have kind of like tagged our epic with the different labels, and the labels are designed in such a way so that they reflect the quarter. Okay, so now what we are going to do, if we go to the timeline view, so we can see our epics here, and this is our quarterly view. If I select on the quarters, so right now we can see this is our current quarter, October till December, and let's say the user management is the one. We can bring it here as well. If I want to see the timeline for this one, so let's say we are starting this one somewhere on October 27th, which is basically the Monday, and it will go up to maybe December 16th. We can just see what are the timelines. So December, maybe we can make it like December 19th. So yeah, so this is how we can do it. And similarly, other one was the architectural pathway. So this also we want to kind of like work till December. Just we have to see December, what is the date? So we can say December 31st, or maybe December 29th, we can keep it. And this one we do not want to assign, so we can simply close this one. And online payments was somewhere in the January. So we can say, okay, we are starting it in maybe January 8th and it will last till March. Similarly, shopping cart is also going to be somewhere like this. So this is how we have placed it. And if we want to create the child stories, we can again use the similar view. So it says create child story as part of the user management, because that's the plus sign which is in the row of the user management epic. So we say, let's say, very first story is user login, then maybe forgot username. That is also part of the user management. Forgot password, user profile. Uh, we can say manage user profile. So these are the five set of stories as part of the user management. So we have utilized the timeline view itself to create the set of user stories. Similarly, for the architectural pathways, we can create the child stories. So we can say uh, dev environment setup. Then we can also have test environment setup, test automation approach, and build pipelines. Okay, like let's say these are some of the stories. So this is how we have created the stories. Similarly, for the online payments, we can create the stories. We can say online payments using debit card. That's one. Similarly, we can say online using credit card. So this is how it is coming. And similarly, we can also have another story, online payments using net banking. Okay, so this is how we have done. And now if I go to the our backlog, so we can see uh, these are the stories which we have created, and these are the different epics. Like first five stories are part of the user management epic. Then we have these stories as part of the architectural pathways and some stories as part of the online payments. Now, since this team is working in the sprints, what we can also do is we can add dates for our sprint one. So let's say this particular team, they are starting their sprint on October 27th, and it will last till uh, November 7th. Okay, 27th October till it's taking 6th November. Let me just change this one. Okay, and then we can again create one more sprint which says like sprint 2, and it has automatically taken weeks of window, 10th November till 21st of November. Similarly, let's try to create one more sprint. So it says 24 till 5th of December, and then we have one more sprint which says like 8th of December till 19th of December, and we have one more sprint, and then it's kind of like end of the quarter. So these are, we can think of, these are the five sprints as of today, from today till end of December, quarter four. Now, what we can do is, let's say user login is going to be planned in the sprint starting from the Monday. So what we are going to do, we are simply dragging and placing it here. Similarly, let's say the dev environment setup is again one story which the team wants to perform in the very first sprint is starting from the next week. So we are simply putting it here. And similarly, forgot username. This is also planned for the next week's sprint. So we can plan tag these user stories, and we can say, let's say the test environment setup. This is a plan for the sprint two. Similarly, we have this user profile which is planned for, let's say, sprint three. And test automation approach, this is planned for sprint 4. We have the forgot password, this is planned for, let's say, sprint second only. So this is how different stories can be tagged with the different sprints. Now if we go to the timeline view again, so we can see, we can have, if I click on the configure timeline, so we can say, okay, schedule by sprint dates, this is already selected, or schedule by start or due dates. So we can go back to the board, and we can click on the timeline. So we can see the sprints has come here. And if I just see the user management, so we can see, okay, this particular story, user login, it is planned for the sprint one. User profile, this is planned for November 24th till December. And then forgot password, this is planned. Manage user profile, let's say this is planned somewhere in the this sprint. So this is again another way. So if I click on this one, it will show, okay, a sprint is already tagged here. So it's now says like a sprint 4 is tagged with this particular item. And similarly, for the architectural pathways, we can look at, do we have any story which is not yet tagged? Because this architectural pathway we want to complete in the quarter four. So if I look at build pipeline, so this is not currently tagged. Let's say we want to do it in the sprint three. So we can just do it like, so this is our Scrum sprint uh, three. Now, so basically, we saw that, okay, how we can tag the epics using the labels, and how we can create the user stories and place them as part of the different sprints which we want to plan. Now, if we want to look at report out of it, so what we can do is, first thing is, let's try to create a filter. So we say project is equal to SCRM, and we say type is equal to epic. And if I save this filter, we say epics for quarter. So we simply save this one. So this filter has been created. Now what we will do is we will go to the dashboard, and maybe what we can also do is we can assign, like let's say this is assigned to Anil, and architectural pathway it is assigned to Jitender, shopping cart is assigned to this person, online payments is again assigned to Anil. Okay, now if I try to create a new dashboard and we call it like Scrum Test 2025, and we add one filter here, that is our two-dimensional filter. So we try to give it an filter. So this is our filter apex for a quarter. And what we are doing is we want on the x-axis, what are the different labels we have for our apex. On the y-axis, we can say uh, the status. And if I simply say save and maybe make it like done. So this is basically showing how many epics in our Jira project our team has planned for, let's say the Q4, and how many epics they have planned for the Q1. So this is one way of, performing the quarterly planning. And what we can also do is we can also, if I try to open this in a new tab, so basically this is our timeline. And let's go to the list view, all work. So we can also look at the different status. So let's say the ones which are in the Q4, they are basically the team has already started. So we can say they are in progress. Similarly, architectural pathway, they are also in progress. So now if I go back and look at the my filter statistics, so it will show me, okay, we have two epics planned for Q4 and the work is in progress in them. And we have two epics planned for Q1 2026. So this is one way, and we can just rename this one. We can simply click on edit and we can say, uh, so this is how we can visualize it. So basically this particular view, it will give us an idea about, okay, what all our teams have planned, what all epics our team has planned in the Q4, what all epics have they have planned in the Q1. And let's say they have some epics which they want to, plan for the Q2 as well. So they can again go here. They can say, let's say they have some customer reports. This is one epic. Okay, so if I go here, either I can select here, uh, or I can just go here if I'm not able to see the label. So I can assign a label. I can say Q2 2026. So this is going to be my new label, and then I can close this item. So now if I go here to my report, I will have to refresh it one more time. Okay, let's see whether this has come. Okay, so this label was not assigned Q2 2026. It's a new label. Okay, yeah, now it has been assigned. Now if I refresh this one, okay, now it has come. So we can see what our team has planned for the quarter one in 2026, what our team has planned for the quarter two in 2026 and quarter four. Again, what we can do is if I again place a two-dimensional statistic filter here, and we can simply drag it, just put it here, and let's say done. And if I click on edit and choose the same filter apex for the quarter, and x-axis we will keep it as labels, on the y-axis we can keep it as an assignee. So if I click on save, So this is going to present to me a different view. Like the very first was all about, what are different epics, what are their statuses. This is going to show me what are the different epics planned in the Q1 and Q4. Like in the Q4, there are two epics which are in progress. One is worked by Anil, other one is worked by Jitender. So that was all about today's video. I mean, what we learned was to create a new project on Jira Cloud, also to create a new set of epics, use the timeline view to create the child user stories, and use the labels for the different quarters and visualize what all epics our teams has planned in a different quarter. And we can utilize the timeline views as well to set the different dates for that particular epic, when we are going to start work on the epic and when we are going to end it, and also to place our child user stories in different planned sprint. So that was all about today's video. I hope you guys liked it. And if you are new to my channel, please do share and subscribe. Thank you so much.